Hey guys, what's going on? It is the transformation leader, Crystal Mattellis here. Thanks for tuning in to the And I Quote Self-Development Training Book Review. We are now on week 7, devotion day 12 and day 13. Before we begin, listen, I want to know how your week was. Share with me in the comment section of how your week went. Mine, it was actually extremely busy, but I have to say that I was truly blessed. I got to spend the week with my mother-in-law who came in to visit us from out of town. She spent the whole week here. I learned so much in that week. So I truly feel blessed to be able to spend that time with her. But I want to hear from you all as well. What did you do with your week for the past 7 days since we last chatted? But okay, enough about that. So for anyone who's new, if you are new here, I want you to know that this is a place that we come together and we collaborate regarding my latest book, And I Quote. It is a 31-day devotional. It's geared towards helping you to jumpstart your day, right? Today we will be discussing days 12 and 13 of the devotion. So if you will, please guys, pull out your book now and we're going to take a look at the quote for day 12. Day 12. Day 12 quotes read, "A staggering foot takes twice as long." A staggering foot takes twice as long. I actually love that we are here at this place right now because a staggering foot, it means nothing more than your procrastination, right? Your procrastination in terms of you moving forward or your hesitation as it relates to your assignment, right? If you are a person that second guess yourself about everything like I was and still have to battle with a whole lot, if I'm being honest, but if you are that person that second guess everything concerning yourself, even when you have been given clear instructions from the Holy Spirit himself, then I want you to know that today's message is definitely for you. It is going to help you to overcome that hurdle that has been blocking your way. Because anytime that you set out for a mission with a staggered foot, what you're doing is you're setting yourself up for prolonged accomplishments. Right? You are literally choosing to tarry in the wilderness. I hear people talk a lot about their time in the wilderness, right? And you know how long they've been in this place and how long they've been battling a thing and things of that nature. But over time, what I notice is that what many people fail to realize is that a lot of the time that's spent, a lot of that duration in the wilderness is predicated upon them. That's the part that people fail to realize, because when we consider the story, right, of the children of Israel that were being led by Moses out of bondage in Egypt, right? And they had to go through the wilderness to get to the promised land of Canaan, right? It wasn't God's original intent, but it was their staggering feat that resulted them into spending 40 years there, right? If you do the math and the calculations like a lot of Bible scholars do, I'm gonna use that word for lack of a better word, but a lot of Bible scholars, when they calculate the distance from getting from one place to the other, it should not have taken them 40 years to do it. But what took them 40 years was their disobedience, right? Their constant delay, their discouraging behaviors, right? Or attitudes. This is what took them so long. It was their staggering foot that made them spend 40 whole years in the wilderness, going through all that they were going through. And what I want y'all to see here is there's nothing more frustrating than trying to lead someone out of a place of danger that refuses to move. When I think about anybody, like my children or even my puppy, right? When something's happening and I'm like, no, a car's coming, you need to move, and they plant their self and refuse to move. That is the most frustrating thing. Because at the end of the day, if something happens to you, everybody looks at me, right? But I'm like, listen, I was trying to tell you, I was trying to give you instruction. I told you to move. And could you just imagine how frustrated that God has to be with us when he's constantly giving us instructions and directions, trying to move us from one place to the next, trying to get us from places of danger into places of safety, and or trying to get us from a place of being stuck and stagnant into prosperity and into the promised land, but we refuse to move. That is the most frustrating thing. So what I want you to think about is, what is it in your life that has you wasting unnecessary time? Or what are the places or the people that you've been spending unnecessary time just wasting, sitting there with a staggered foot, right? Places that were only supposed to be temporary, but you have chose to make it an extended stay because you refuse to leave some places or let some people go. You're constantly delaying, and your delay is costing you. Believe it or not, it's costing you. And it's sad to say, but for the majority of the Israelites, right, it cost them more than they were able to afford, right? And they missed out on the blessings of God because of it. Many of them, as we know, did not make it. They died off before their time of reaching the promised land, and their descendants, right, had to reap that benefit. So I'm saying this because I don't want you to allow your staggered foot to keep you from everything that you prayed for, or to keep you from everything that you fasted for, everything that you spent countless nights, crying and shedding tears about, all the things that you literally fought and worked for, right? You put like some sweat and blood went into that. Some of your effort and your energy went into that. Like you really poured yourself into that, right? And now you're going to forfeit it because you got a staggering foot that's stopping you from moving forward. No, it's time to, listen, pick that foot up and drag it along, but no more staggering feet. Because guess what? What's rightfully yours, you have to be willing to go get it. Don't delay any longer. I want you to quit hesitating and stop second guessing God. Move forward into your promised place and enjoy the fruits of your labor. Okay, so I think I ranted enough about that, right? I think I got our wheels spinning enough in terms to how we can stop prolonging our glory stage, because that's what it is. That's what the promised land is. That's our glory stage. That's what that place of accomplishment and that place of arrival is. That's the glory stage. So we don't want to keep prolonging that place. We want to reach our destination. All right, guys. So moving forward, we're going to hop on over to day 13, and we're going to take a look at that quote as well. So turn with me, guys, in your devotion to devotion day 13. And someone is texting me, y'all hear the vibrations, but not right now. I'm busy. But devotion day 13 reads, a source with good energy brings a solution, but one that is drained is useless. A source with good energy brings a solution, but one that is drained is useless. So putting this as simply and as plain as I know how, what I am saying in this quote is the energy that you bring into the room matters. It matters as it relates to not only quantity, like how much we get done, right? But also in regards to quality, how well we get done what we do, how well we accomplish our goals. So not just how many goals we accomplish, but how well we accomplish our goals. It matters. Our energy matters in regards to both quality and quantity. If you don't have a good source driving the mission, then guess what's going to happen? You will quickly abort. You will quickly abort the mission, yes, if you do not have a good source that's driving you. So talking about this, it makes me think of when I first started writing this book, right? When I first started writing this devotional, guys, I literally started out on fire. I mean, I was ready to go. I had so many ideas, in my head that I just wanted to get out and release on paper and get it in the book. I'm like, this is some good stuff. Like a lot of people I know can benefit from this. So, I was spending, countless hours just jotting everything down and fine tuning it and spending so much time on the phone with my sister, like trying to get things done and, brainstorming about what I was going to put in, only to get halfway through. And guess what happened? That fire started to dwindle. So what do you do when you get to that halfway mark, right? And that starts to happen. What do you do? How do you rekindle that fire? How do you get your spark back? What happens when you start out on 100 and now you're operating on 50% momentum? What do you do at that point? Because I know me, even regards to my cell phone, right? I can start the day with 100% battery and go to work or, go shopping, go out, wherever, right? It happened to look at my phone again and notice that the battery now is only halfway full. Well, at that place, I start thinking about what can I do to get my battery back fully charged, or how much longer can I go before what happens? Before it dies on me and then becomes of no good use. So what do you do when you start out on 100, you start out on the beam and now you're like, oh, you dragging along, you noticing that you're not so enthused anymore? Guess what? You're on 50% now. You operating on 50% momentum at this place. So what do you do? Do you see the problem at hand and just allow it to persist? Is that what you do? Because for some reason, when it comes to our daily function, our daily functionality, we don't always look at it as being that crucial or that dire as we do when we see our cell phone and we like, imagine when it get down to 10%. We like, oh, excuse me, somebody got a charger? Can I borrow yours? Can somebody drive me to Walmart? Is we gonna pass a 5 and below? Because I need a charger. Because pretty soon this thing is gonna die. But when it comes to our lives, our daily lives, we like, I'm tired. You know what? Forget about it. Just let it go. And guys, this is what I'm trying to get us out of, because when I can tell you exactly what's going to happen if you continue to disregard your life when you get to that point. Your energy, it will continue to seep out little by little, and then nothing gets accomplished. Or back to what we was talking about a little earlier, it'll end up taking you double the time than what was really required. Because you're moving at a slower pace now. So now it's taking you double time. So you have to keep your energy on an all-time high. And I know that that's easier said than done, but it is possible, so that you don't continue to operate, just lackadaisical. That's something that my grandma used to say, right? But you want to operate at your greatest ability. You want to function at your top notch, right? You want to function at full capacity. So in order to do that, you have to find out what fuels you. Find out what fuels you. That's exactly what I did when it came to me writing this book. I had to when I got to that place of being at 50% momentum, I had to find out what fueled me. Because for me, see, quitting was never an option, as I know it's not for many of you, right? But you have to find something that stops you from getting to that place of being burnt out where you just stop and you can't go any further, right? You have to find a source that brings a solution, because for me, my current source, it was too low on juice and I knew it. And if it was running low on juice at the time, then it was no longer housing the power that I needed to keep me going. And that's what's happening with a lot of you. You're giving up at your place of being in the middle, right? After you done already traveled half the distance, you're giving up because your source of energy no longer house the power necessary to keep you going. So what I did was I sort out things that pump me up, right? I sort out things that motivated me. I talked to people that empowered me. And I listened, to people that inspired me and kept me going. I had to draw from sources of good energy rather than choosing to choke off the fumes of a vehicle that was running out of gas. Stop choosing, guys. Stop choosing to choke off the fumes of a vehicle that is running low on gas. Don't ever become so loyal to a source that you can't recognize when it becomes low on supply and no longer sustains you, right? No longer helps you out. No longer gives you what you need to keep you moving forward, because at that point, it becomes useless. And once it becomes useless and you're still dependent on it now, it's a part of the problem, right? So why bank on something that is now part of the problem when we're really after solutions? And that's it right there. We want to always, right, get solution so that we don't become engulfed by our problems. And not just get solutions, but we want to also be a solution for others as well. So before we end, I want you to write this down, right? Someone needs to be able to be ignited by the amount of energy that you bring into the room. I want you to say that to yourself. Someone else needs to be ignited by the amount of energy that I bring when I step in the room. So that means that you have to come in as a good source of energy every single time. So if you feel like you're at the point where you're lagging and you're lacking that, then you need to seek out a source that you can feed off of that can get you back to 100% so that you don't eventually die off and become of no good use, not only to yourself, but to anyone else. All right. So guys, listen, I think that was a really good talk today. I feel like we covered a lot of ground in today's video. Remember, I'm looking forward to you all dropping jewels as well in the comments, right? Let me know what you got from the quotes when you first read them. If you're willing to share, right? I invite you to do so. Remember, keep it positive, keep it constructive, right? We want to build each other up, not tear one another down. I want to thank you all again for rocking with me, and I will see you all next week so we can discuss the following 2 days. Again, if you are new here, this is your first time and you would like to join us weekly, you can hop on over to my website now, www.crystalmetellus.com, and claim your copy of the And I Quote 31-Day Devotional, and we will meet you here next Saturday. Guys, enjoy your week on purpose. Talk to you later. Bye.